Hello everyone, Twilight Linkable here with a reaction stream. My Spotify is just not wanting to work. I was gonna start off with some opening music, but my goodness, the Spotify player just does not want to work right now. Um I am very excited to bring you this reaction stream to the Xbox podcast that just dropped, but I'm going to be playing some music as I try to figure out who this podcast is at. We had to listen to it audibly because they said wherever you get your podcast at. You might have to do that, but let's let's get some music going real quick. And yeah, making sure this is going to my headsets. Awesome, perfect. So let's go ahead and get some music going here. Let's get some music going here. Hello, Spotify. Cooperate with me, please. Choosing not to cooperate, huh? Well, I'll just force you to cooperate from my phone. Well, after a small flat, I was able to get Spotify to work. So give me about like 2 to 3 minutes and I'll go and see if Anyway, well, let me address the chat first. Angela Lima, hello, saying in 2 messages, please Arc 2, PS5, Hellblade 2, and Starfield 2, and of course Elder Scrolls 6. Along with, I meant Starfield, but maybe the DLC is as big as the game. Maybe. Anime Bros, hello. glad to see you here. Wow. aren't you normally busy with stuff at this time of day? Just out of curiosity. Glad to see you here. I'm just curious what you normally got going on during this time of day. I'm happy to see you here. Don't get me wrong, really happy to see you here. Actually, let's go ahead and switch scenes real quick. And why is the background not transparent? There we go. Yeah. Oh, you got done with classes earlier today. That's awesome. The feeling you had classes today. Yay! Well, I'm gonna try to worry about my climate real quick. I'll be back just before halfway through the next song, and I hope the next song is not too long. Train Wedge from A Hat in Time. Oh yeah, that's another quickie. So yeah, I'll be right back. Hold on a sec. Now everyone, I'm back. So, as I still look into the podcast, finding out where it's located, I have a proposition for you guys. And the music is a little bit too loud for me to think, to even hear myself think, actually. Let's see. So, for the opening, I know I had that one picture saying welcome to the stream, but I was thinking adding a second scene, or at least overlaying a picture on top of that saying stream starting soon, something like that, because all I have is just that one picture. This picture right here, all I have is that one. And I think I should make another one that I can just pop up as the music plays shortly after I do start the stream. But I want to hear what you think, Anime Bros, since you are apparently the only one here. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think it's just... I'm gonna mute my... Oh. Google Home Mini. Hold on a sec. Saying okay, cool does activate it at times, especially with how sensitive of a microphone it has. Yeah, awesome. I'll make that as well. So the official Xbox podcast. All right, let's see if they dropped it today. Hey! They did drop it. It's a 22-minute, 55-second podcast. Awesome. Do they not have a visual for it? That's what I want to know. There's no studio camera or something like that. Oh yes, this video! Perfect! Oh, I'll take that any day. I'll take that any day. Woo! Alright. Let's fire it up. Alright, gotta do a couple stuff here. First off, turn off my notifications completely. Focus assist on, but alarms only. I don't use any alarms on my computer, so if I do need an alarm, it will be either my phone or my computer. Alright, so the next thing I need to do is make sure the quality is in the highest I can download. Actually, I have very good internet speeds. I could do 4K if I want to, 2160. Let's do 1080p. Hence, my monitor is 1080p anyway, so there's that. Alright. got that open. Oh, but I need to have this, you guys. Oh gosh, I'm so used to Green Hill Zone being the next one after that. Jeez. And make sure that you guys can hear. Okay, so I do need to add. Um. Browser is on the aux. Oh gosh, sorry if that was too loud for you guys. Oh jeez. I was just seeing if I had the right input there. Let's bring that down to about capture card level of like. I do want to so you guys can hear it as well, and it's not too overpowering. So if the audio is a bit imbalanced, let me know. I'll be happy to fix it on the fly. It's just a small slider change. All right, here we go.
Hello and welcome to the official Xbox podcast. I'm your host, Tina Amini, and we have a very special episode today, as you can probably tell by the fact that I'm joined by Phil, Sarah, and Matt. Welcome. And we're going to talk about some updates at Xbox. We want to talk about game exclusivity. We want to talk about Activision Blizzard now that they're part of our portfolio, how that might be an impact on Game Pass. And we want to talk about hardware too and how all of this fits into the strategy at Xbox. So where should we start, Phil?
Well, when we originally had planned for the show, starting back in December, I think we probably would have started with Activision Blizzard, maybe talked a little bit about the exclusivity with some of the news coming up, and then hardware. But we've had some unforeseen news that has come out. So let's just go and tackle the exclusivity question, because I know it's on the minds of a lot of people. We hear from the community, and that's an important input for us. So we made the decision that we're going to take 4 games to the other consoles, just 4 games.
Okay.
Not a change to our kind of fundamental exclusive strategy. We're making these decisions for some specific reasons. We make every decision really with the long-term health of Xbox in mind. And long-term health of Xbox means a growing platform, our games performing, building the best platform for creators, reaching as many players as we can. We're always looking to learn as a leadership team and to grow. And we think this is an interesting point in time for us to use what some of the other platforms have right now to help grow our franchises. So we're going to do that.
So these 4 titles, what are they? Can you say?
I'm not going to name those games. The teams that are building those games have announced plans that are not too far away. As we know, game teams put a lot of energy into their announcements with the partners. So I don't want to take anything away from those teams. So I won't be talking about the titles specifically, but I think when they come out,
that's fair.
Can we say if either of those titles are Starfield or Indiana Jones?
Oh,
they are not Starfield or Indiana Jones.
Push it.
Well,
okay.
What was the criteria in how the team was thinking about selecting those 4 titles?
Let me start a little bit outside of that, and then I'll get to the 4 specific games that we're talking about right now. Because the fundamental decision driver for any decision that we make, anything we're going to talk about today, is the long-term health of Xbox. That we're running a growing platform that is reaching more players, that our games are having as much success as possible. And I do have a fundamental belief that over the next 5 or 10 years, exclusive games that are exclusive to one piece of hardware, are going to be a smaller and smaller part of the game industry. And that's not some great insight, because if you look at the last 10 years and what the biggest games are today, it's a natural place, whether it's one console and PC, multiple consoles, mobile console and PC, you see big games landing on multiple platforms. And we want to be a great platform for creators that are trying to realize that potential. But now back to the specifics of the question on these four specific titles. We looked at games that are over a year old, so they've been on Xbox and PC for a while. A couple of the games are community-driven games, new games that kind of first iterations of a franchise that have reached their full potential, I'd say, on Xbox and PC. There's always growth. Franchises that we obviously want to continue to invest in. Part of having the ability to continue to invest is that the businesses behind those franchises continue. We think it's important that these service-based games that have communities behind them, that they can have confidence that they're going to exist in the future. So two of them, kind of community-driven games that will end up on other platforms and give us the ability to continue to invest in them. We think that's great for the business and great for the communities, more players to play with. I'd say two of the other games are smaller games that were never really meant to be built as kind of platform exclusives and all the fanfare that goes around that, but games that our teams really wanted to go build, that we love supporting creative endeavors across our studios regardless of size. And as they've realized their full potential on Xbox and PC, we see an opportunity to utilize the other platforms as a place to just drive more business value out of those games, allowing us to invest in maybe future iterations of those, so sequels to those, or just other games like that in our portfolio. And when we don't damage Xbox and we can grow our business using what other platforms have and to help us with that, we're going to do that. And that's really the story behind these four games. And last thing I'll say, looking forward, I think there is an interesting story for us of introducing Xbox franchises to players on other platforms to get them more interested in Xbox. We think there's a good brand value for Xbox there. So 4 games, no promise beyond that. So if you're on those other platforms and you see these 4 games coming, please don't take it as some signal that everything's coming. It's not. And we're going to learn.
So when you are thinking about the future and this concept of live service games, games that can benefit from bigger audiences, new audiences, how does that apply to future titles and how you're applying that criteria there?
Yeah, there's really...
I want to pause it for a moment and talk about that one bit of what he just said about having those games grow on other platforms as well, while looking at it from a business side of things. Those last 2 minutes there that he just said, well, 5:38. So let's go and listen to past minute of it.
Allowing us to invest in maybe future iterations of those, so sequels to those, or just other games like that in our portfolio. And when we don't damage Xbox and we can grow our business using what other platforms have and to help us with that, we're going to do that. And that's really the story behind these 4.
So it sounds like that they want to use the other platforms such as PlayStation and Nintendo Switch, take advantage of those hardware iterations that these specific consoles have to bring more enjoyment to the game. At least that's how I'm seeing it, and I do like the idea to use the other consoles for that. That's a very neat idea.
4 games. And last thing I'll say, looking forward, I think there is an interesting story for us of introducing Xbox franchises to players on other platforms to get them more interested in Xbox. We think there's a good brand value for Xbox there. So 4 games, no promise beyond that. So if you're on the...
Yeah, he's he's definitely looking at it as a business value as well, hoping it will draw interest into Xbox and hoping that those players who play those Xbox exclusive games on the consoles that they are used to playing on, such as PlayStation and Nintendo Switch, to hopefully find interest in wanting to. It's kind of like a trial, like a trial on the Xbox. Like, oh, let's see what it's like. Let's mess around with it for a little bit. Wow, that seems interesting. I want to. I actually do buy it. I do. I like some of the games that are on it, and I want to get an Xbox myself. I think companies would make a lot of money by doing that. Yeah, me too. Me too. I think the companies such as Xbox and Xbox themselves hopefully have those people who play those games draw a bit more interest into the console and actually buy an Xbox themselves. And also, while those who pushes those 4 games on the Switch or the PlayStation, the money will also go to the developers as well, which all around it sounds like a pretty neat win-win situation for both the developers and Xbox themselves.
Those other platforms, and you see these 4 games coming, please don't take it as some signal that everything's coming. It's not. We're going to learn.
No, I won't take it as that.
So when you are thinking about the future and this concept of live service games that can benefit from bigger audiences, new audiences, how does that apply to future titles and how you're applying that criteria there?
Yeah, there's really no fundamental change to how we think about exclusivity. We just came out of Developer Direct, which was an awesome show, where we showed great games that are coming to Xbox and PC and cloud, which really makes them accessible to hundreds of millions of people. So it's this kind of, we're really focused on a couple platforms and what's going to show up there. But our key of play the games you want with the people you want, anywhere you want, when everybody plays, we all win. These have been part of our strategy for years and will continue to be. Our focus is on how do we continue to grow the games industry by reaching more players in more places, and how do we grow Xbox as part of that. Xbox is a hardware platform, Xbox is a publisher of great games, and Xbox as a platform for the world's best creators.
Mm-hmm. And then knowing that, how do we think about our first-party games and Game Pass?
Yeah, well, to build on what Phil just said, one thing I would add, when you were talking about growth, is just that we've sort of seen this inversion over the last 5 years, where it used to be that the platform was the biggest thing.
That's right.
And the games would sort of tuck in within the platform. Today, big games like a Roblox or a Fortnite could actually be bigger than any one platform.
Yeah,
and that really has changed the way that we think about things. So in the midst of all that,
and to add to that, they're already big on the other consoles themselves, and I'm sure. I know he only named a couple of them, but there's other games like games by Epic, Fall Guys, and oh golly, what's the other one? Fortnite. Thank you. Other games like Fortnite and Fall Guys as well. They've already been big on multiple devices, and they're hoping with expanding those 4 unnamed games. For now, they're letting the developers make those announcements. With those 4 unnamed games, they're hoping that the same will come to them as it did for Roblox, Fortnite, and Fall Guys, and other cross-platform games as well. And I'm receiving a phone call, and I'm going to send it to voicemail, unfortunately, because I cannot talk to them right now. I'll call them back. So that's pretty much what I'm getting at right now.
Party can come back to sort of.
That's my thoughts right now, based on what he just said.
We think about things. So in the midst of all that, I think we at First Party can come back to sort of some core principles. First, that all of our games will be on the Xbox platform. Second, all of our games will go into Game Pass on day one. And third, we know that Game Pass will only be available on Xbox. So there's sort of starting points for us. As Phil mentioned, there are games today that you can play that only can be found on Xbox. And at the same time, we want to bring more of our games to more players. So we're going to continue to look at that. Kind of moving aside, though, from some of those and thinking more about what does it really mean for the player, to me, the two key things are cross-play and cross-save. Those things allow us to deliver on the promise of Xbox, which is play with your friends where they are, play on the devices you want, play the games you want. So that is really only possible at a practical level when you know that your saves and your player are going to be able to move across all those parts. So not all of our games today are necessarily built to take advantage of that. There still will be some games that don't. As we bring more teams into the Xbox family, there's some catch up to do as we get there. But that cross-play, cross-save is like so fundamental to what we're doing, and I think is something that we as First Party get such a good benefit from being so close to the platform.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things, like you said, all of our games are always in Game Pass. And so I'm excited to announce, you know, with the coming together that we had with Activision Blizzard King, that Activision and Blizzard games are coming to Game Pass, starting with Diablo 4 on March 28th, which I'm super, super excited to share today. And it's all part of our commitment to make Xbox, the Xbox experience and the games that we build as widely available as possible. So now the 34 million Game Pass members can all enjoy the fantastic experience of Diablo 4.
Amazing. Can we come back to the point, Phil, you mentioned at the top, this isn't really a change in strategy for us. Can you recap for me how it isn't?
Yeah, and I thought both Matt and Sarah did a really nice job of talking about what we're doing on Xbox, where we're going. You know, if you take a platform feature like Xbox Play Anywhere, which has been a promise that we've made on our first-party games, that you can buy our game once, you're going to get play across Xbox and Windows. I think we're the only platform that does this. That makes it possible for you not only to play with your friends wherever they are, but to know that you actually have multiple entitlements to the games. I think that's a technology I would love to see applied to more platforms. But it is this view that people are going to play Xbox in multiple places, whether it's play the games you want with the people you want, anywhere you want, whether it's content, community, and cloud, whether it's when everybody plays, we all win. Like, we've had different taglines, different strategy kind of words that we've used, but always with this view that Xbox is a platform for creators who want to reach the most players. Our investments in xCloud, our investments in franchises like Minecraft and now Call of Duty and other large franchises so that we learn how to build those. This has been a strategy that we've been on for, I'd say, a decade. It's not about one device. It's not about games in service of a device, but rather the devices that people want to play on should be in service of making the games as big and popular as they possibly could be. Because really, a healthy creator community on Xbox, a healthy creator community in gaming all up, is the thing that all of us as game players should be voting for, because that's the thing that will lead to the best long-term success and growth in this industry.
And my understanding, just from listening and learning from you three over the past few weeks, just understanding what's happening with Xbox, is that we see trends with player behavior where people are playing on multiple devices. That is the reality. And we have put some games out on multiple platforms before. So my understanding is that that's been good for players. How does that come back to the business with all of that in mind?
Yeah, as you said, we have shipped games on other platforms. In fact, realistically, if you look with the addition of Activision and Blizzard and ZeniMax, we're one of the largest game publishers on PlayStation. We're one of the largest publishers on the Nintendo Switch, especially when you put Minecraft into the equation as well. And now we're one of the largest publishers on mobile platforms as well. And that's not something that we want to back away from. We want to continue to be building great games that millions and millions of people can love. And that they can play those games where they want to go play. But we do understand the business success that Xbox has to have.
Yes, it would be.
Us as leaders in this business.
Yeah, Sea of Thieves would be an excellent cross-play game. Ooh. I know you mentioned it. been a while since I played that game. Do you play that game yourself, or you just watch people play it? Because Sea of Thieves definitely plenty one to go with the. If they do have, if they are looking to add more to that 4-game list later, and Sea of Thieves ends up being one of them, I would love to play it on the go. Assuming, by the way, which couple things I've heard. The current hardware specifications for the Nintendo Switch aren't good enough for Xbox games such as Sea of Thieves, Halo, the 4 that they are going to be letting the developers mention soon. It is so much fun. If you have Game Pass, which I don't know if you do or not, but if you have Game Pass, you can play it right now. But so you would need a new console with new hardware specifications that will be able to run these Xbox games with no issues at all. So with that said, when the Switch 2, as everybody's nicknaming the new console for Nintendo, from Nintendo, when that new Switch comes out, I hope it has that portability and home play capability. So it's like you switch and play, as what Nintendo said on their original trailer for the Nintendo Switch. So you switch from playing at home, taking the Switch on the go, and you play on the go. You're back home. You switch it back to your TV by putting it in the dock, and you're ready to play on your TV. That's the concept behind the Switch that a lot of us gamers aren't aware of, even though that some may only be PlayStation or Xbox players, like they don't want to touch the other consoles. A lot of them do know the capabilities behind the other consoles just from listening to other news, if they're interested in listening to that kind of stuff. So I hope that the new console from Nintendo Switch will still have that at home and on the go play, and that way I can play those 4 games and hopefully more from Xbox to be able to like plunder on the go, or if Sea of Thieves is one of them, or I don't know if Halo's on the list, but very anxious since he said that those developers are going to be the ones that is making the announcements. I am very anxious to see who the developers are and what game they are going to be releasing for cross-platform.
The system today, the system that all companies that we play video games from, is a world of you got to be growing your business. Growth in an Xbox business is critical to the long-term health of Xbox.
Yeah.
Many people know I've been on Xbox for over 20 years, and I want to make sure Xbox is in the best position for the next 20 years. That means healthy player community, healthy creator community, and healthy business. So when we look at opportunities to allow more people to play, more people engage, more people to buy, more people to subscribe, it's all about putting Xbox in the best position. And our hardware is a critical component of that. The absolute best experience somebody has on Xbox is hardware that your team builds and that people play on. But that's not going to be everybody. We fully accepted that we're going to have Xbox players across all kinds of devices.
So I think a lot of...
Yes, that is true, and I am happy that Xbox as a whole is content with that, and to the point where they are accepting that as a reality, and I'm glad that they're expanding because of that. I am very excited for the announcements as well. I am thinking about doing the you were here through me first kind of thing, but I'm like, God, no. Once the announcement happens, it's going to spread like wildfire. Like the entire forest was doused in lighter fluid, and someone just let it mash and just whoosh, all lights up very quickly. So yeah, I'm very excited for the announcement. I will definitely try to be on the lookout for that as well. And by the way, since this podcast is only like close to 23 minutes long, so I'm taking advantages of these like segments here, like when they jump to the next question, just to pause and reflect of what was just said, talk for a bit, and then resume to the next question. And resume with the next question.
A lot of people think about 2023 as this incredible year for gaming, and in a lot of ways it was. There was some really amazing releases that I think we all enjoyed. But what were the signals behind the scenes that maybe indicated how we wanted to look at the future of Xbox and how we kind of keep up with the industry?
Yeah, such a good question. And I think it's, as people who care about the industry, which I assume is people who are watching this, it was an amazing year. Some great launches, some of the games that I think will stand the test of time and people will be talking about a decade from now. But it's an industry that didn't really grow. And what happens when an industry doesn't grow? You end up with some job eliminations, which we had. We had even our own hard decisions to make about building a sustainable business for ourselves, but in no way were we alone in that. When you think about a healthy industry, I want players who believe that they will find the best games on the platforms that they love. I want people who invest their careers in working here to feel like this is a place that they can be successful. And that really is down to being part of an industry that is growing. If you listen to Lisa Su, the AMD CEO, she'll say that AMD-powered consoles are likely to decline in 2024. I think there's an amazing set of games coming in 2024, but if we don't get to growing as an industry, the industry will struggle. And today there's really two choices on how do you grow the industry. Do you say, I have a fixed number of players, the players that we have today, and do I find new ways to monetize those players to get more money from the players that I have? Or do you think about how do I expand the business I have by finding new players and adding those to the base of players that already play? Our focus on Xbox for the last decade has really been on that latter point of how do we make sure Xbox is growing for our players, growing for our creators, so those people are finding success on our platform, which will grow the Xbox business and put Xbox in a position to be very strong for years and decades to come.
Matt,
I do like what he just said there. People are preferring one thing over another, so it's hard for the one thing that people are not preferring as much is declining, such as AMD. AMD is on a decline right now, but on the other hand, you got like other companies like Intel that is still on the rise, and people are preferring Intel over AMD. And I personally still like Intel. If I were to get a new motherboard and a new CPU chip, I would probably go with Intel, as I've always had the best experience with Intel. I probably never want to pull away from the Intel. Hence the fact that I've always heard great things about Intel, on top of me being a user of Intel. So hearing other people's experience and how a lot of their experiences are matched with mine, I'm excited to say that I'm happy to buy my new Intel chip whenever I have the money. AMD, sure, they might have decent performances, but Intel just takes the cake for me, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinions from what I heard. Um, as I resume chat, I do want to hear what you think about Intel versus AMD. Um, I know some of you may not have a computer, but so you might not have the experience with using Intel or AMD. But from what you've heard, if you don't have a computer, so you might be hearing the news of like AMD versus Intel. What do you think about AMD? What do you think about Intel based on what you heard from others as well? You would take Intel? Yeah. Yeah. I hear you on that because they just know how to outperform their competition a million times over. They never failed me one bit. Hey, hello, Dad Man, how's it going? How's it going? I'm just here watching the new official podcast that was released today. It was released at the top of the hour, and it's just a regular videos / audio format that you can find on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. And I'm just here talking about what was just mentioned in terms of the question and the answer. The questioner is the gal on the left, and I forgot what her name is. Let me take a quick look as first so she's asking the other three. So the person in the middle, her name is Sarah, and I forgot what his name is, but I try to write over this down. Tina is the one that's asking the question. So we're just here. You at work right now and you saw me live? Well, awesome. Thank you so very much for stopping by. Yep, I'll be live for a little bit longer, especially after this, because I may just load up an Xbox game and play it for a little bit, or just close out, relax for a bit, and then go live tonight at 8:30 Central with some more Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which, by the way, I have earlier today figured out the answer to the riddle on in the Gerudo Valley area to be able to progress to the desert temple of Gerudo Valley. I still want to continue on through Death Mountain, but I also want to spend my blessings as well and get some more health and stamina. But thank you so very much for stopping by. Let's continue
Earlier, you were talking about
here.
these growing gaming communities, how they're incredibly large, and comparable on such a different level when we think about console audiences. Like you mentioned Roblox, you mentioned Fortnite. So how are we're obviously thinking about our responsibility, our hardware responsibility is supporting the growth of gaming communities. How has that actually shown up for the players? Are there other games we can speak to from our portfolio?
Well, as Phil mentioned, I mean, two of the biggest ones for us, Call of Duty and Minecraft, I mean, they are driven just from the bottom up by the communities of people that play those games, which is so great. I think about it for the player community, it comes down to where are the friends, where are the people you play with, and then equally important is where have you built up your library of games, right? Where have you invested? Where's that library? I think those two things probably are some of the biggest influences on where people choose to play and what devices they choose to play.
Yeah.
When we think about, on the other side, the developer side, just any game developer wants their game to find the biggest audience possible. That's just the nature of building a game. You want people to enjoy and participate in what you've made. And I think we're in a unique position to deliver on that just because we are the platform. We build hardware, we've got a first-party games group, and then we've got a system that ties that together, that brings together your friends, your progression, your achievements, all of that. And I think that's really what has contributed to the momentum behind some of these communities.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you look at, just step back and you look at the history of the industry, we've moved from a place where it used to be that someone built and launched a game to accelerate hardware to actually the things we do with our hardware and with our platform are all in service of making those games bigger. And we think about that across all of the investments we make, the consoles we build, the investments we do with things like cross-play, cross-progression, the things that we're doing with cloud. How do we actually give more options to game creators so they can have the greatest success? I think one of the fun recent examples about this is actually Palworld. You know, Palworld was able to launch, they were a game preview, they launched in Game Pass, they also simultaneously launched in Steam. And through the combination of those things, you know, Pocket Pair was able to have this outsized success. And it was the largest third-party Game Pass launch ever. And that's all because we give creators options on how they can launch their games. We've got subscription, we've got retail, we've got free-to-play, we've got game preview, we have the consoles, we have our experience on PC, and they can access all of those things. And when we step back and we just look at the performance of our platform all up, we know it's working. We're at the highest level of users on console, the highest level of users on PC, the highest level of users on cloud ever. We have double-digit growth rate on PC and cloud, places where we're enabling creators to actually reach new players beyond the console ecosystem. And that's why we're leaning into it and doing more, because we see all those signals.
So we're talking about the role.
Which I do find interesting how they are, I don't know if boasting or gloating is the right words for what she's doing, Sarah is saying there, but I do find it interesting that Xbox is like the only one that has cloud gaming and cross-platform and all that between your phone, PC, and Xbox. That's because it feels like and I could be wrong about this too. So, chat, if you have something to say about this, let me know. Let me know. My view is that Xbox was the one that decided to expand to cloud gaming. PlayStation and Nintendo, I don't think has the capability of doing so, given that their network is only designed for online play on their respective devices, and they don't have an infrastructure like Xbox does. I'm gonna say Inbox, what? Like Xbox does to support such feature to the gamers themselves. Yeah, I know Xbox has been at it for some time as well, but Nintendo has been at it a lot longer than them, if I'm not mistaken. So Xbox established date, which was November 2001. Yeah, that's what I thought. And Nintendo, let's bring them up. September 1989. More specifically, September 23rd, 1889. Sorry. But they were a playing card company first, and then when did actually I want to bring up ChatGPT here. When did Nintendo start making gaming consoles? Let's see here. Nintendo entered the gaming console market with the release of the NES in 1983. So they did cards from 1889 to somewhere between 1889 to 1983. They worked on the NES, and then they released it in golly, what was it? In 1983. So they still have made consoles for a while, a lot longer than Xbox, but so that tells me that Nintendo really never chose to take advantage of the fact that we have this technology of cloud gaming like Xbox did. So it's real interesting to see that Xbox is like, we're the one for this, we're the one for that. Because the other consoles, this is just my opinion, that the other consoles choose to not do it, and Xbox did. So, I say that it's a little bit of oh, the YouTube app was being glitchy for you? Huh, woo. Wow. Let me check the audio on my side here. Oh. How in the world was the YouTube app being glitchy for you? That's so weird. That's really weird. Wow. Sorry, I know. It was just a long rant. Like Xbox chose to do that. The other consoles didn't. So it's like, to me, in a nutshell, give them a break a little bit, please, because you guys chose to do so and they didn't.
Role that hardware plays for creators, for the games and those communities. What about the role that hardware plays for us as a business, for Xbox?
When we look at our hardware, it really is, and Phil said this earlier, it's where you get like the most flagship seminal experience of Xbox. And it also represents a developer target. Our developers can build the specs of our hardware, and we invest to make sure they know when they do that, that the games are going to run great on our hardware, but they're also going to be able to be accessed across any screen because of all the other investments we make. So we're giving them an easy way to access as many players as possible. And we actually have more creators right now building for Xbox than ever before by nature, thousands of them by nature of those investments. And we got more to come. There's some exciting stuff coming out in hardware that we're going to share this holiday. And we're also invested in the next generation roadmap. And what we're really focused on there is delivering the largest technical leap you will have ever seen in a hardware generation, which makes it better for players and better for creators and the visions that they're building.
And then when we're talking about hardware too, there's these other considerations that are really important to our community, probably to each one of ourselves as well. When you talk about library, because I want to dig in on that a little bit more. You know, as we talk about cloud in the wider entertainment industry, there's conversations about streaming. How is that impacting how I own my content that I've invested in? So what can we say about our stance around game preservation?
Yeah, you know, one of the highlights for me of being in this position was getting to stand on stage when we announced back compat coming to Xbox One. Like, it was fantastic. People were reading the teleprompter before I could read it. I'm a slow reader, and just feeling the energy in the auditorium as we were saying that and online. You know, one of the cues I think us as being part of Microsoft take is looking at Windows and how Windows over decades has maintained software compatibility with things that are built on it. Like, I can still go back and play some of the games that I love playing on Windows from decades ago, and it will still run. And we try to bring that same view.
I really
to
love that
it's harder in
announcement, by the way.
Because the line between what the hardware is and what the game is in consoles is traditionally, it's tighter, which makes compatibility, you end up doing these generational compatibilities that we've built. But I will say compatibility, the ability to not only play the games, but my saves are still there with our cloud save systems to try to keep the services up as long as we can so that people can play, is a tenet of what we are as Xbox. It's at our foundation. And when we look at future hardware generations and what we're going to support, making sure that we respect, which is the word I use, respect the investments that people have made in Xbox going forward, is fundamental. And the fact that you get entitlements when you buy a game from us on both Windows and Xbox also means you have the ability to play that game across a multitude of devices, which I think furthers the compatibility of the games that you own.
Can we go back to what Xbox stands for today? I think we've pretty much covered all of the elements, but if you could break it down for me.
You know, when you play on Xbox, what we're saying is you're playing on a platform where you know the biggest games in the world are always going to be. You're playing on a platform where you get to access Game Pass. And all of the games from our incredible range of studios will always launch in Game Pass day one. And you're playing on a platform that's dedicated to you, like player-first features, cross-play, cross-save, cross-progression, backwards compatibility, being able to play your games in your library anywhere you want because of the investments that we make in cloud gaming. And so you're playing somewhere where you're investing and you know you get to take the games forward with you and across all of the screens where you are. And I think most importantly, Xbox is a place where you know when you're investing in Xbox, you're investing somewhere that is dedicated to making games more successful and creators more successful so that they can invest more to bring even better experiences to you all of the time.
Yeah, just that investment in the studios is so, and we feel that as part of first party with the platform proximity. You know, it's kind of amazing now to look out across all the studios we've got and just be reminded that we're now one of the biggest development organizations in the industry. What does that mean for players? It means that the biggest games are going to continue to come to Xbox. And this 2024, the year coming up, we've got more than 10 major releases coming up. Great stuff, Hellblade 2, we've got Diablo expansion, we've got Avowed, Ara, the Indiana Jones game, and there's more in development, which I think we're going to be able to share more about at our June showcase coming up pretty soon.
Well, I guess I should get ready to work on that show. Well, thank you all for showing up on the podcast today, and we'll see the rest of you this June.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tina.
Thank you.
And that's all they will, folks. So, any final thoughts? Let's get some background music here. Oh yeah, Coconut Mall. So, John, any final thoughts? Like, I've pretty much said what I wanted to say. The first half was like key for me, and the rest was just like, yeah, I'm just being a flyer on the wall here. I'm just listening. Not all that important for me. Hellblade 2, Starfield, Ori. 2, 3, 4. Are you certain that those are the 4 games that they did not talk about in the podcast that is going to be released for the other consoles? It sounds like Xbox is confident with their plans of bringing games to other consoles. Very confident indeed. I do like how confident they sound that it will definitely, from a business standpoint for them, draw in more people, more buyers for their network. More Game Pass subscribers, more consoles buyers as well. I really do like the confidence in that quite a bit. But why is this there? Oh, that's me. That's me. Hi. Oh, did I click on that accidentally? No? Okay, good. It feel like that I clicked, but that's I'm yeah, I'll show you this. So this is one of the 3 backgrounds that I have. I do have another one. Where is my... Oh, there it is. There it is. That's what I was looking for. Like, why can I not find the... Why couldn't I not find So it's interesting to see that Xbox was like between them and Nintendo. Xbox was able to obtain a lot of money very quickly and was able to invest cloud gaming and cross-platform gaming as well between Windows, Xbox, and your phone as well. Which that actually is just your phone is connecting to the cloud gaming infrastructure, and so you're connecting to an Xbox device that they have on the server when you cloud game. Even on your own Xbox as well. When you cloud game on the Xbox, you're connecting to one on the server. But it almost feels like that the game itself is already stored on your Xbox console with how they designed the infrastructure or the UI of cloud gaming. So I do want to show. There's going to be a bit of a recursion here, folks. Give me a moment. Oh, that's probably monitor. Perfect. Save it. That one. So I got all 3 of these pictures, by the way, from the Nintendo Rewards program by Nintendo. There are multiple ways that you can earn platinum points. One of them is logging weekly, which I do recommend starting that week on a Monday, because if you do have a Nintendo Online subscription, you can also get points that way as well by backing the save data and playing a game that supports online play, so you get an easy 60 points, by the way. And if you still play some of the games that Nintendo made for your mobile device, like Mario, if you play Toad Rally daily, you get a total of 70 points per week, because it's 10 each day that you play Toad Rally for. And if you win 3 Toad Rallies within the week, you will also get an additional 30 platinum points as well. So that's an easy 100 plus platinum points that you can get each week. Let me go back to my chat and see what you guys talk about here. I think there was a good chance that Halo might be one of those 4 games. Yeah, that is true. It really feels like that Halo is definitely one of those chances as well. So I'm sort of in the mood to play the game, but then again, I'm also in the mood to watch the latest Halo episode from on Paramount Plus, because that show's been very interesting to watch. And I'm also thinking, oh shoot. Yeah, Halo might be one for sure that is definitely going to be one of those four. Don't know what Angela is saying is correct. There's been no confirmation of what Angela said may or may not be true. There's nothing to confirm that information yet. So Angelo, those are good. I'm going to mark those as guesses of the four games that are going to be on other devices that were Xbox exclusive. Now going to be on the other consoles such as Switch and PlayStation. I'm not going to mark those as official yet, because there is, like I said, there was no way to confirm that yet because there has been no announcements from the developers that are involved with the cross-platform or the cross-platform play that were only on the Xbox Network, Xbox, PC, and your phone with the Xbox Game Pass app. But now they are also on the Switch and PlayStation as well. We don't know we don't know what they are yet, but that's why I'm marking those as guesses from you and nothing else. For you, that might be unfortunate, as if you really think that that is factual information, let me know. Give me some sources, but I want to say that those aren't just guesses and not an actual fact that those are the four games being released for the other consoles, Switch and PlayStation. Alright, so I am actually want to get going. Anime Bros, by the way, before I do head out, I do like to let you know that I have solved the riddle. Yeah, I'll show you what I'm talking about real quick. Let me get there first. I'm sure you remember from my last Breath of the Tears of the Kingdom stream. Oh, I need to turn that on for you. There we go. So I'm sure you remember this. This picture and this one as well. Giving me the clues needed to get to the desert temple. Well, what I'm calling the desert temple, because Guido, they're out in the Guidos, they were out in the desert. They live in the desert. Death Mountain, that's the fire temple, because it's all fire lava over there. The water temple for the Zoas, and the forest temple for, actually, I guess that would be like the sky temple for the Rudos. I guess we can say sky temple, but yeah. So these two slides right here, I solved the mystery of this, and tonight I'm going to show you what the answer is, and walk you through my thought process when I actually was thinking about what the answer is. So it's saying standing back to back of the throne, and I'm like, okay, the throne must be her throne. I'm forgetting what her name is, but she's the sage as well. So this sage right here, I'm guessing. I was guessing it's her throne. So I'm going to be starting off the stream with standing back to back to that throne and just getting right into the desert temple as well. So, with all that said, Anime Bros, have a good rest of your afternoon. Hope to see you tonight. Hope to see you all tonight, by the way. All three of you who left a like on this stream. Thank you so very, very much for your wonderful support. It really means a lot to see that wonderful support. Let's see if we can get the next stream to 5 likes and to 5 likes, and because those likes really do help my channel grow, believe it or not. So anyway, thank you. I will have a good rest of the afternoon myself. I'm going to go watch the next episode of Halo that was released on Paramount Plus. So I'm just going to let this song finish out the next 2 minutes and end off the stream. So enjoy this song, everyone, and see you real soon for some Tears of the Kingdom. And I almost forgot. There we go. Alright, bye for now, everyone.